Hi, it's Hazel and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. I am here with another episode in the series that I'm calling How I Prep Thrifted Items for Journal Making. Now, I think this is number 4, and just between you and me, if number 3 ever gets uploaded and on my channel, it will be a technological miracle of some sort. I have a very low threshold for when technology fails me, and I have attempted to do that, upload the video. I think we're on the 4th attempt as I speak, and so it gets to a certain point and then it says processing will begin shortly, and a day later it's still doing its thing. So hopefully someday you will see that video as well. So in this episode, I'm just picking up kind of where I've left off. I'm also putting all of these videos into a playlist on my channel called Use It, Don't Store It. Meaning, I could have said use it, don't hoard it. Meaning that when we buy things, and of course, do as I say, not as I do, all of us have bought things and never touched them. It's just like women who buy clothing that hangs in their closets with the price tags on till, for years until they donate it back to somewhere. So this is an attempt to get more proactive about using stuff. So I just have a few odds and ends here. Now this was a bag that I'd never seen before. I guess it's intended as a wine bag. This is obviously a meshy type thing. We see these all the time in those little drawstring bags. I haven't done anything with this, as you can see. And I guess the only reason I'm starting with this is that every once in a while it is okay not to do something with something, because I haven't had the bandwidth to think about this. So rather than do something, maybe the obvious choice, and then think, smack your forehead and think, why did I do that? I am going to be content to just leave this thinking that, one day the answer will come to me. I think it's too wide, unless a person, but then that would be an issue. I was going to say, I think it's too wide to consider this the front of a journal, but maybe I'm wrong. So these gauzy, I can't think of the proper word for it, but anyway, you know what I mean. This part here is sewn into the seam allowance, so it's 5.5. So if in fact I left this seam intact, opened this one up, and made, shortened this, turned it into a journal cover, theoretically that could be a see-through pocket right on the cover. Now a person would really have to think that through and be sure that whatever is visible through there is worthy of being seen. And it would also, of course, have to accommodate the inside cover. So whatever is visible would have to be, I would say, fixed in place, or you'd have to think through how you could use this kind of as a window, pocket window, and make sure that whatever you're using on the inside of your journal is, if it's double-sided cardstock or whatever, that it is beautiful enough to be seen through this window if the thing in the pocket has been removed. And if you followed all that, then you are in the A stream of this class. So again, for all those reasons, I'm just setting it aside. This is not a bag. This is a necktie. And the reason I grabbed this one is because I thought those kind of resembled peacock feathers. And so what I did was I took apart the seam. I don't think I've ever taken a tie before, taken a tie apart before. So I was kind of surprised at what's in there. And this is what is in there. It's kind of a stiffening thing, like it's cut on the bias. You can see that everything is angled. It is nice. I mean, obviously its uses, I guess, are a little more limited because it tapers the way it does. So there was that piece, and then there was another narrower piece in the skinnier part of the tie, the back part of the tie. So for now, and I think this would probably take dye quite well. So I may just experiment with this skinny piece, or this piece that, I don't know what that is. Is that a gravy stain? None of this was glued to anything, so I don't know what this is, but maybe, well, why don't I just do that? I'm going to hack this part off. These scissors leave a little to be desired. And I can, next time I have a coffee going, leave some dregs in there and dip this into it. So otherwise, I will just keep this until I know how well it takes dye. I'm just going to have it hovering, floating around the studio until I figure out how to use it. Obviously, if it does take dye well, or even if I don't dye it, this could be easily sewn into a ruffle. Now, because it is fairly thick, it would be bulky, so that might not be the best idea. It could be the tie around maybe a grungier, kind of homespun looking journal. Obviously not a very big one because it's not very long. But these things will stay kind of in my field of vision until I know what I can do with them. The other thing, where is it? Was I salvaged the tag. Nico Narini. So I would say that's Italian. Also with the red and green kind of colors of their flag. So I'll add this to my fabric tag thing. This looks a bit soiled, but I suppose I could, hand wash it. And then this, it didn't have any markings on it saying that it was silk or polyester or anything. It didn't have any of that kind of stuff. So, I just did a load of thrifted stuff. Why didn't I think of washing this? I didn't remove this part yet. This is not readable. I don't know what this was. So I think I still have my iron out. What I can do at the very least, let me give it the sniff test. No, it doesn't stink. So I would probably take a chance washing it. Now, if obviously when I do that, I will then iron this because it's no use to me this way. So that's the tie. Okay. This is part of the tie lining as well. So it's a nice neutral, just a poly satin type thing. Even this little thing could be used for snippets and clusters and things like that. One of these days, we're just going to have to sit around and do stuff like that. Just sit around and do stuff like that. Okay, then there was this bag. This was a wine bag, and it was intended, I guess, to give to somebody who retired. Now, I took apart the hem at the top, 2 rows of stitching, because, of course, there's the casing for the string. Of course, I keep the string. Why were there 2? Oh, because you pull, yeah, anyway, okay. So I keep things like this in a special container because, again, they lend themselves to being ties for particular journals. So now the way this was printed, So and I think if you're like me, you see everything as a potential journal cover. So you look at this and you think, oh, that could be a journal cover. And it's great because the seam was not here. It was on the other side. So when I took apart the seam, I automatically have an intact spine. So I can easily turn this into one signature journal. Of course, it is tall, too tall. From the top of the 2023 to here is 9 inches. So obviously that date is not desirable. So again, a person, well, or this could even be a tall skinny. And I kind of like this because it looks like soft burlap. It's not scratchy and all of that. It's a finer weave, but that's sort of that's sort of the look it has. And on the inside, it's almost like it's backed in some way, probably to give it stability so it doesn't, go out of square. So that is also a plus as far as I'm concerned. So this, let me smell it. I don't think it needs washing because at this point it looks pretty darn good. And again, it's one of those things that, yes, I took it a step or two closer to using it, but I'm certainly not ready to drop everything and turn this into a journal. So I may or may not iron this now because, again, wherever I put it to store it, it will probably become creased again. So probably just fold it like so. And then these are simple no-brainer things. I showed this in a thrift haul, and it's got a company name on there, but all a person has to do, and I don't think of doing this. I maybe did it once in my life after I saw somebody else do it. Glue a U-shaped bead of glue, and you've got the actual bag as a pocket and the bit behind there. So I think that would be lovely. And of course, I don't need to be told twice about how beautiful purple is. This is more like I know you guys have felt stuff like this before. It's not flannel, but it feels as soft as flannel. I don't really like that orange thing here. I suppose if I wanted to torture myself and change this out and feed another color or something in there, I could. Or I could yank it out of there, throw it away, cut this open or open the seam up and end up with 2 pockets. This would take dye nicely, I think. It could also be stamped on, and suddenly you've got 2 basically 4x4 pockets that you can use somewhere. And when something is white or very light colored, sometimes it's a good idea to dye it just so that you don't have the worry about soiling, because honestly, by the time we handle our projects, for a few days or weeks, they can become kind of dingy looking. This is obviously a Christmas bag. Oh, it even has a Velcro closure. A Christmas bag. I will just put this with my Christmas stuff. I don't do a great deal of Christmas. I don't know if I'll do a Christmas anything this year. Of course, this could be turned into a small journal cover. Remove these 2 handles. And you've got a Velcro closure for this, for a pocket, say. Or if you didn't want that to be your front, put that at the back. Have a nice solid front cover, and then let the back cover have this pocket that opens. The ties could probably be sewn together. There isn't a great deal extra here, but an extra 1/2 inch at each end might make a difference. Those could be sewn together and become a journal tie, or it could be used as a bag to put another completed journal in, or it could be used for any other purpose that you may want. So it's almost 6.5 by 7 3/4. So not very wide, obviously. But anyway, guys, that is all I wanted to say about today, today's stuff. So again, I hope I have, if not told you something that you didn't know before or hadn't considered before, then I hope I at least reminded you of something that you did know previously and maybe haven't been acting on. Because I know that's what it's like for me. I can be fully aware of something, but because, all of us are busy and we're always doing what we're doing, some of those additional or first time techniques or strategies or projects get, pushed to the back burner because we're doing what we normally do. So I just wanted to show you that. I think I have at least, or maybe one more for sure, video that I want to do in this little series. Again, it will be found under my Use It, Don't Store It playlist. And I really hope that you find yourself looking at things either in your own home or elsewhere that you think, I know what to do with that. I've got it. I'm taking it. I want it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. I want to say a special thank you to new subscribers. The numbers are moving up, which is the right direction. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone who's here because I understand as clear as the nose on my face that you have a lot of choices. You have a lot of demands on your time and your attention, and you have a lot of places and activities you could be doing. So the fact that you choose to spend time with me is extremely humbling, and it is very gratifying at the same time. So, it doesn't go unnoticed. It is appreciated. And it's sort of like back in the day, with random acts of kindness and pay it forward and all of that, building good karma kind of stuff. You're doing a good deed by watching mine and other people's channels. So thank you so much for that. Anyway, guys, as always, thank you. I do hope that you give my video and every other video you watch a thumbs up. Those things matter, as well as taking those few seconds to write a comment. That really helps. Anyway, guys, we shall see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.